3 FA Cup replay, despite Sol Campbell scoring his first goal of the season after half an hour. Barnsley always looked dangerous, and when Ashley Ward toppled over Clive Wilson's leg in the second half, the referee, Gerald Ashby, gave the inevitable penalty. Coolest man for such an occasion is the Barnsley skipper Neil Redfearn. Espen Bardson filled most of the goal, but 1-1 in truth was a fair result. There's fresh speculation tonight about the future of the Spurs striker Les Ferdinand. He looked angry at being substituted and left the ground without comment, unlike Danny Wilson.
I thought we were good value for our result today. I felt that the second half, especially when we were a little bit more composed on the ball, you know, we passed it around very well. We showed a little bit more conviction than we had in the first half, and we deservedly got a result at the end of it.
Our coverage of the FA Cup sponsored by Littlewoods as we head off to Yorkshire for Barnsley against Tottenham. Now, it's 86 years since the Tykes' only success in this competition, a stark contrast to their fellow Premiership strugglers who've lifted the trophy on 8 previous occasions. Commentary at Oakwell comes from Brian Moore.
Barnsley more or less a settled side in spite of their problems. Missing Jan Ager Fjortoft in attack, he's cup-tied. 34-year-old John Hendrie comes into the lineup alongside Ashley Ward in attack. Neil Redfearn, the captain and top scorer, is the key man in midfield. And behind him, 3 central defenders, Moses, De Zouw, the Dutchman, and the 19-year-old Chris Morgan, playing only his 3rd game, with 2 wing-backs, Nicky Eden and Darren Barnard. 5 of this side have come up through the ranks here. Spurs now without the injured Andy Sinton. He's replaced by Stephen Clements tonight. Otherwise it's the same side with the same formation that lost at Derby last weekend. But there are signs that injured players are beginning to filter back. Both David Howes and Chris Armstrong are on the subs bench here tonight. Referee tonight, Gerald Ashby from Worcestershire, who also refereed the first game at White Hart Lane. Well, Spurs get us away. They're calling it a crisis night for them and their manager from Switzerland, Christian Gross. But certainly the stakes are sky high here. A visit to Manchester United in the next round for the winners. Christian Gross will know all about that. And clubs are saying that it could mean something in the region of £400,000 as a pay packet for the reward for winning tonight. Ward, a foul on Ashley Ward, a free kick to Barnsley. Committed by Sol Campbell. Early chance for Barnsley, who've shown some quite interesting form of late at home. They've won 3 and drawn 1 of the last 4 to put some pressure on Tottenham. De Zouw's up there from the back. And it's just pushed away there by Bardson. De Zouw and Ashley Ward were both in there, and just where were the Tottenham defence? Kick was taken. Both the red-shirted players getting a touch there and have won this corner, so problems already for Tottenham. And a very deep one indeed. Knocked down nicely, touched on again. Steve Carr. Zouw, Bullock played it too short. Klinsmann, Fox, who's quick, getting after it, but De Zouw, who's even quicker, gets there first. Carr doing well to get to the byline here. Knocks it back. Oh, Fox playing it in. Ferguson, rather Ferdinand, getting down on the far post and just failed to turn it in. Some terrific work there by Stephen Carr, though. And now here come Barnsley. Redfearn, but it was Bertie who stopped him. Well, there's Ferdinand, was at the far post. Perfectly placed. This was terrific work here by young Stephen Carr. Plays it back, flicked on first time, but Ferdinand couldn't force it home. Ashley Ward having a battle with Wilson, and Barnsley get the free kick. Ward, Hendrie, Bullock, Dazau are in there. Redfearn's on the edge of the box. Swept in. Ashley Ward just putting it wide. And you would have thought there was enough height in the Tottenham defence to withstand that sort of challenge. Ward almost scoring the opening goal of this cup replay. Bertie played wide. Ferdinand's out there. Klinsmann's gone through the middle. Ginola. Sheer weight of numbers get that away for Barnsley, making a good break here. It's a great run, but a poor pass on the end of it. But Ward might take it up, and that needed a good save. Ward, a striker with terrific confidence, suddenly picking it up. It's just a gap, but the keeper did well. Klinsmann outnumbered there. Bertie couldn't pick up the loose ball. Carr with a good header finds Ginola. Lovely turn, good pass. Fox is on the end of it. Ferdinand and Klinsmann waiting in the middle. And in the end, a wonderful save from Bertie by Dave Watson. Cross came in there, half pushed away. Bertie came in, and that was a super save by Dave Watson. Here's Ashley Ward. Oh, just wide by Redfearn. Well, the skipper, who's also the top scorer, really hammered that one. And there's good goal action at both ends now. Ward the provider here. And Redfearn just pulling it wide. Ginola. Spot by Dazau. And a yellow card for Stephen Clements. And that was the reason why. So Ray Clements, centre of the picture there, watching his son in action for Tottenham tonight, wearing the number 25 shirt. Steve Carr now Bertie, played for Fox. Ginola. Oh, great save again by Watson. A sharp angle, but it was really on target there from David Ginola. And there goes the half-time whistle. Goalmouth incidents at both ends, no goals, not least because of David Watson being in such excellent form in the Barnsley goal, and David Ginola putting on some brilliant style through the midfield for Tottenham, but all adding up to a half-time score. Barnsley 0, Tottenham 0. Barnsley get us away, hoping to add to Spurs' appalling away record. They've had only one away win in the Premiership this season. That was at Everton, plus one in the Coca-Cola Cup. That was at Carlisle. They've lost their last 4 on the trot away from home. Tottenham bench. It's been a difficult opening spell for Christian Gross on the right, as manager of Tottenham. By Wilson to Ginola. So available, Ginola. That's a free kick. This wants to be everywhere at the moment, taking this free kick. Just the one aspect of his game that has been a little questionable has been his taking of the corners. He hasn't really produced a good corner yet. I wonder if he spotted Vega coming up on the far side. He had. No, he's going to be off. Clements has got to go off the field. He's already got a yellow card, and that was a dive, according to referee Gerard Ashby, and he had no hesitation. There was no thought of a penalty in his mind. And Stephen Clements goes down, looks for the penalty. There was a bit of contact there, to be fair to the young Spurs player, but Gerard Ashby had no outs at all about it, and you can see the anger of the Spurs fans in the background. He'd already been booked in the first half, and now Christian Rosides is down to 10, and, well, Ray Clements there has seen his son sent off. Spurs are down to 10. There's the incident again. He was looking for a penalty, said referee Gerard Ashby. Ungentlemanly conduct. It's a yellow card. It's the second yellow card, which makes it a red, and Spurs are down to 10 with Stephen Clements off the field. That's a sensational start to the second half. Doing well down that left flank as well. Barnard playing it down the line. Redfearn playing it in. And it's a goal for Ashley Ward. It's all gone wrong for Spurs, as Ward puts Barnsley ahead. Cross, and a good header, powerfully wide of Bardson. Redfearn, a terrific cross under pressure, and what a powerful header. Real neck muscles going into that header of Ashley Ward, and powering it wide of the Barnsley Tottenham keeper. And Barnsley, the home side, are a goal up. Hendrie, Kozancic, Ward, Bullock. Beginning to play some stuff, Barnsley. This is Bullock. Made in for Hendrie, and it just caught Sol Campbell. Vega, and then Howell's getting it clear. Klinsmann. This is Fox. Bertie, but hit it straight at Kozancic. Ward playing it in to Hendrie. Onto the left foot. And driven wide. And now ruling the roost at the moment of Barnsley. Redfearn stuck at it well, but here's Ginola. That's a free kick too. Now by Kozancic. On with the game already. Time at the moment is not an ally for Tottenham. A goal down here in this fourth round replay, but it's for Ginola now. Trying to get Sol Campbell inside. The fullback does really well, and it kicked off the line. There were three Spurs players around there, and it needed just the gentlest of touch. And now suddenly at the other end, it's 3 against 2. Bullock with the ball now, wanting to go alone, going all the way. A super save, and he missed the second one. Knocked back again, hammered in by Redfearn, and it's 2-0. What an amazing game. What an amazing sequence of events. 3 Spurs players on the line at one end, and they couldn't turn it in. At the other end, it's suddenly 3 against 2. Bullock does wonders, but it's Redfearn in the end who bangs it in. That was the clearance off the line. And here's Bullock. And a save, but in the end, it comes back again to Redfearn, and that makes it 2-0. Ginola. Over himself there, I think. Neil Redfearn. Hitting it long, and just look at the space. What a good piece of play by him. Oh, against the post from Barnard. This could be another one. And at the moment, Spurs are totally disorganised. They're throwing people forward and just not getting back and defending. A great ball there by Redfearn. And there's Barnard, wide of the keeper, against the post. The crowd were cheering, thinking it was going in, but it stays 2-0. Carr playing it in again. Dezau. Ferdinand, another free kick. Another glimmer of hope for Tottenham. I think Chris Morgan's name is going into the book, the 19-year-old. For the challenge there, just caught him. So it'll be Klinsmann who actually makes the strike. And Spurs sorely needing a goal at this point. Well, Gillen has done it. And that's given the Spurs fans new hope. And we could have quite a finish here. Watson flying across his goal, couldn't quite get to it. A perfectly flighted free kick by David Ginola. And this cup tie with Spurs, remember, still down to 10 men, is back on a knife edge again. Klinsmann has gone down. In fact, the Spurs physio was on before. They're really rushing. There's a serious panic on there for Jurgen Klinsmann. And you can see the Barnsley players are saying, get away from him, get away from him. So often it does happen occasionally that players, when they fall awkwardly, swallow their tongues and breathing becomes difficult. I just think it might have been there, a clash, and he got a bang on the head and fell. He was holding his head as he went down, actually. Well, we can only surmise this is the problem that Jurgen Klinsmann has got. What we do know is that Spurs have brought their substitute Gary Brady on. 21-year-old who's only made only one start. Spurs will not forget for a long time. Time now running out for Tottenham. Fox just keeping that in play very expertly, but straight to Martin Bullock. Play for Ward. Back now for Eden. In for Hendrie. And then for Redfearn. Did well to keep possession there. It's with Bullock again. Now Redfearn again. He's played it for Barnard on the far side. It's a great goal! Darren Barnard makes it 3 and makes it safe. A great ball played there by Redfearn. Picked him out beautifully. Earlier he hit the post with a rasping shot, and that one just hit the back of the net, and it gave Barnsley not the slightest chance. Barnsley are on their way to Old Trafford in the next round of the Cup. Barnsley have won it. The first half went reasonably okay for Tottenham, but it all fell apart with the sending off of Stephen Clements at the start of the second, and then conceding the goal from Ashley Ward, then the one by Neil Redfearn here, who's had an absolutely terrific game as the skipper of Barnsley, and then all rounded off right at the end with that rasping goal from Darren Barnard. Barnsley with plenty about to smile and to shout about tonight. A victory that takes them to Manchester United in the next round of the Cup. So the final score here in this FA Cup fourth round replay, sponsored by Littlewoods, is Barnsley 3, Tottenham 1.
Some night that was, Neil. Yeah, it was always going to be a difficult game for us. I still stand by what I think. I think Tottenham's a top-class side, and we had to battle all the way to get that result. But we showed a lot of resilience, and we stuck at it.
It's a nightmare draw, though, isn't it? United away.
No, is it? I think everybody's been keeping their fingers crossed with Manchester United. It's a fantastic arena to go and play your trade at the end of the day, and obviously we went there this year. We didn't have the best results, of course we didn't, but I'm sure the lads are dying to play there again and prove to people we possibly weren't as bad as the 7-0 scoreline suggested in the first place.
Les, what did you think of what happened tonight?
I thought it was an absolute disgrace. You know, refereeing, you know, you see every week now players and managers complaining about the refereeing, but that is the worst displaying of a refereeing I've seen in a game in my life. And I've played park football as well.
You sure you mean that?
I definitely mean it. I'll get hammered by the FA for it, but that's how bad it was.
Are you feeling the pressure at Spurs? How are you coping with it yourself?
Well, sure, every manager is under pressure, especially here in the Premiership. And when things not are going good, when you haven't positive results, that's pressure. But everybody is under pressure when he's going in. Also the players are under pressure, so it makes part of our job, and I have to deal with that and to handle with that. And I believe in me, and I believe in the players.
Well, there's pressure on all of us, you know. It's not just Christian Gross, you know. Yeah, he's the manager, but you know, us as players have to be up, stand up, and be counted. And we've got to make sure we do get ourselves out of relegation, not only for Christian Gross, but for ourselves and the club.
And Gary Newborn, our interviewer there. So the revised fifth-round draw sees Barnsley on their way to Old Trafford to face Manchester United. And Newcastle's reward is a home tie against Tranmere Rovers. Well, Barry's views in just a moment, but first the bad news for Spurs tonight, out of the FA Cup, and also now we hear a real problem involving Jurgen Klinsmann, because the German has sustained a broken jaw in this incident. It looks like jaw hitting shin bone, and he is being kept in hospital overnight, and all we can do really is to wish Jurgen Klinsmann a very, very speedy recovery. I'm sure Barry Venison joins me in that as well. But Barry, let's turn to the game, and an amazing second half, wasn't it?
Yeah, defensively both teams are poor. I mean, the records say that, but it was great entertainment.
Several key moments in this second half, aren't they? They're all sort of interlinked as well.
Yeah, and the win for Barnsley, most of them. Of course, we got this contentious sending off.
Was it?
Well, it looks from this angle as if there's minimum contact.
You think he dived?
I think there's a chance he dived. He didn't show much reaction.
Straight up to the other end we go then.
Yeah, and this is Neil Redfearn supplying the ball. What a cross that is. Sol Campbell gets himself a little bit lost, and a great header by Ashley Ward, right up the other end of the pitch.
So we've had that, and then we have Spurs so close to an equaliser.
Well, we see Sol Campbell pushing down the left wing and crossing the ball and desperate to get the equaliser. Yeah, it's a hack off the line, it's nothing more. But that hack off the line actually sets up another attack.
Barnsley, cruel luck for Spurs, but very even more cruel.
Barnsley found himself 3-on-2. They exploited very well. Shot on goal. Goalkeeper makes a good save. Plenty of composure. Who's on hand again? Redfearn with his right foot. Great finish. Top scorer of the season. You can see why.
And although Spurs came back into it, Barry, Barnsley wrapped it up in the end quite comfortably, as it were. Where on earth does this place Spurs' season?
Well, they're in big trouble, aren't they? I mean, they've got to look forward to a nice Premiership relegation battle, and unfortunately they've got Blackburn away on Saturday, Ewood Park. Never the easiest place. Blackburn on top form. Don't know. It's a tough few weeks coming off for Tottenham. You mentioned you thought there was a dive there. Obviously, Les Ferdinand was referring to the referee's bad decision on that. Now, has he got himself in trouble here, Les?
Well, I think he'll find himself a few quid later in the pocket when in a couple of weeks.
You think he will?
Yeah, I think he's in hot water.
From who, the club or the FA?
Well, I think the FA will take a dim view of that. Les knows, you can tell by the interview, he knows he's going to be in trouble for that. But he feels very passionate about it, but he obviously feels very hard done by.
Barnsley on their way to Old Trafford. 7-0 early in the
Good luck to them. They've got a great attitude. They're going to go and enjoy it. Good luck to them.
Yeah.
Barnsley, the 40-1 shots. David Pleat and John Motson were there.
8,500 Barnsley fans here today are prepared to put their 7-0 defeat on this ground in the Premiership back in October behind them and hope their team can do the same. And they've been encouraged by the team news they've heard from the Manchester United camp. Andy Cole, who scored a hat-trick against Barnsley that day, is one of several United players either injured, suspended or rested. Even his potential replacement, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, went down with a stomach bug today. So another Norwegian, Erik Nevland, 20 years old, makes his first start up front. Scholes and Butt are suspended. Gary Neville and David Beckham are substitutes. Phil Neville plays in midfield. Barnsley are not at full strength either. Darren Barnard and Darren Sheridan are both suspended. Jan Arge Fjørtoft is cup-tied. So 34-year-old John Hendrie partners Ashley Ward, scorer of some important goals recently, and it's a big day for defender Chris Morgan. He was 20 on Friday and starts only his 4th senior game. And as referee Mike Riley prepares to start this cup tie, what are your thoughts, David Pleat, on this understrength Manchester United team?
Well, certainly Barnsley will need little motivation, apart from trying to overturn that big early season reverse. They'll be buoyed by the fact that United have the key men missing, and really Barnsley have been improving and United have been stuttering, so maybe a far greater opportunity this afternoon than initially suggested when the draw was made.
Eden, the right wing-back, feeding Bullock. And here comes Hendrie. Ward's in the centre waiting. It's John Hendrie for Barnsley. And Redfearn's coming in as well. A header clears for a corner.
It's good play by Hendrie, and he did look up, but at the back post, Ashley Ward and Christian, the fullback, was coming in too. They were at spare men right deep. But a good break by Hendrie.
And De Zeu is forward for the corner, as well as Christian. And Ward is waiting to come in as well. It's too long for Ward. And it was headed by Bozancic initially. Here's Moses. McClare. Giggs with Redfearn. Free kick to United. Irwin to Giggs. Looking for Nevland. Sheringham on the far side, others closer to him, like McClare here. Irwin. Oh, well, I think Pallister got caught on the Achilles there by Ashley Ward. This is going to be a booking, I think, David.
They certainly caught him in the lower calf, and really there was nothing to be gained by Ward making that tackle in that position at all. But it's interesting up front, Hendrie, who was quite a quick player certainly when he was younger, is playing against Berg, and Ashley Ward, who's better in the air, is playing against Pallister. I wonder if they've got enough pace between them to exploit anything in the United rearguard.
And volleyed forward by Jonsson. Oh, and they didn't pick up the runner there, Barnsley, and Ronnie Jonsson's away. Nevland's waiting for the pullback, so is Sheringham, and it didn't reach either of them.
Fine forward run by Jonsson, but I have to say, looked suspiciously offside when that ball was delivered. Gets to the byline, a slightly wide angle, and tremendous covering there at the near post.
He was trying to pick out Ryan Giggs, but I agree with you. I think Barnsley would have had a case there for saying, why wasn't there a flag? Anyway, it's a corner to Manchester United. Berg is up, so is Jonsson, so is Pallister. And Berg's in the heart of the action there. And it's still not really away, and almost off the line, and still it's not clear. And Watson, the goalkeeper, did well really to hold his position and let it all evolve in front of him. De Zeu, in fact, was slightly hurt in the melee that ensued.
All 10 Barnsley players in that 18-yard box scrapping away for this ball. Everyone competing, everyone fighting to keep that ball away from the goal, and in the end, fortune favours the brave defenders. Ward's got a cut. He's got his mouth, went into a tussle, it may be from that defensive efforts of Barnsley just previously, but he's... referee has to stop the game if he sees any sign of blood.
after the scramble in the goal mouth back there, De Zeu, who was heroic in getting the ball away, it was left hobbling. It looks like a groin to me.
Well, that would be a great misfortune. Matty Appleby is a centre-back. He likes playing as the centre-back in the middle of a three-man defensive area. That's where he played so effectively before he arrived at Barnsley. Started very well at Barnsley, has since lost his place. They've gone for more stature. He's a very good reader of the game.
So a bad cut on the mouth for Ashley Ward, a groin injury for Ayaan De Zeu, and the latter means a substitution. Matty Appleby to come on in defence, and Ashley Ward is going to have to go off for stitches. So not only have Barnsley substituted a player, they're down to 10 men as well. Really unfortunate period of the game for them. One man off, two men off in fact, one replaced, one still receiving treatment and another one booked. That's forward by Berg. There's Ryan Giggs, and he tries to get it through to Brian McClare, and that's hit the post. Oh, Barnsley have escaped. McClare's effort came back off the post. And that's a foul by Phil Neville. Well, it's a while since McClare scored a goal, but he was close here from Giggs' flick, David.
It was wonderful play by Giggs, really. He came across the line of Barnsley defenders. He knew exactly where McClare was stealthily creeping into. First time shot on the half volley. Unlucky McClare.
Two stitches, I gather, in the mouth of Ashley Ward. He's back on the field. Big reception from the Barnsley fans. That's a long ball by McClare. Neville. Oh, well played by Sheringham. And as the ball comes into McClare, they've got a man over here. McClare, Giggs, Sheringham. Johnson wants it. Gets it to Irwin. Giggs. On by McClare, Nevland's there. Two defenders with him, a real old scramble at corner results.
Well, a nice fast in-swinging cross there with his right foot delivered by Giggs. There you see the sandwich at the back post, which caused the appeals from the crowd behind the goal there.
That was for handball against Morgan, they're appealing, David. His arm was up as he jumped, but he's got away with it. Giggs is going to take the corner with his left foot from the far side. Sheringham looking to get into that near post area that he often does from these, and in fact that's exactly the corner they played, but it went behind him, and it's come back again now with Neville. That's intended for Nevland, it's too long. So Barnsley back to full strength with the reappearance of Ward, but they do have Appleby in the defence now in the stead of De Zeu. Mistake by Schmeichel, and can Hendrie get there? He can! And Barnsley have taken the lead. A catastrophe for the Manchester United captain and goalkeeper. And John Hendrie is the beneficiary. Oh, well, if Schmeichel's made a worse mistake than that in his career, I'd be surprised. It's a simple enough back pass, he's well out of his goal, and he slices it with his right foot, and John Hendrie gets there first, and Barnsley have taken the lead in the 38th minute.
Well, I'm just surprised that Schmeichel tried to take the ball on the bounce. I think he could have taken the pace off the ball before delivering it, but of course the man is so certain and so super confident of everything he does. He sliced it. Hendrie, despite his age, I think he's something like how old, John, now?
34.
34 years old. He was still sprightly enough to get onto that ball first. Schmeichel will have his head in his towel at half-time. Alex will be urging them on now. It's such a vital psychological time just before half-time. If ever they wanted a spring in their step, if ever they wanted to be roused at half-time, well, they've got the perfect medicine.
Barnsley, the underdogs from the bottom of the Premiership, take the lead in this cup tie against the league champions and league leaders, and Schmeichel will want to just, as you say, bury his head somewhere for a few minutes. Alec Ferguson could never legislate for that happening. Quite extraordinary. Oh, and they've done the same thing themselves. It's Ryan Giggs. Magnificent anticipation by David Watson has saved the day for Barnsley. And here they are on the attack with Nicky Eden. That was nearly a case of déjà vu. Tale of two goalkeepers, but Watson excelled himself, David.
And indeed, the quickest player on the field, arguably Ryan Giggs, was the man who was given that opportunity to get there before Dave Watson. Splendid reading of the game by Watson.
And the score remains Manchester United 0, Barnsley 1. And are we on the verge of a cup shock, or is Giggs going to turn it round here? It's a good bit of play, and Teddy Sheringham came in for United, and that's going to be the equaliser. It's 1-1, and it's Sheringham. Right on cue, and no one more relieved in the ground than Peter Schmeichel.
Well, once again, wonderful build-up play. There we see it. Giggs is producing all sorts of flicks and clever touches, but once Sheringham saw the whites of the post, he knew he didn't have to power it. He was going to place it. Cool as you like. Splendid finish, but what impetuosity, what cleverness by Giggs.
Yes, Sheringham's goal, Giggs' pass, Giggs who'd spurned a chance a moment earlier when Watson had come to meet him, but it's back all square now. Schmeichel's error for the moment is wiped out, and it's 1-1 at Old Trafford. Goodness me, Ward got that inside. Oh, and still a chance on the far side, and Schmeichel makes a save from Ashley Ward there, perhaps atoning somewhat for what happened earlier. Goodness me, that could have been 2-1 to Barnsley.
Well, this is a real cut and thrust tie.
Here's Ward again. Oh, the drama of the FA Cup has surfaced here. It's a free kick, and the Schmeichel here does everything right this time, David.
He did indeed. When the ball broke, it broke kindly to Ward. Schmeichel was on him so quickly that Ward didn't really have a chance to manoeuvre the ball around his body. And I think both managers, for different reasons, will be relatively satisfied.
I would think so. John Hendrie's got a great FA Cup scoring record. He took advantage of the monumental blunder by Schmeichel to give Barnsley great hope. But soon afterwards, another man who's got a good FA Cup pedigree, Teddy Sheringham, was able to come along and equalise for Manchester United. And at half-time, it's 1-1. David Beckham is required after all. He comes on as a second-half substitute for Ronnie Johnson, who appeared to be limping a bit towards the end of the first half, and I think Posh Spice is in the stand watching as Beckham takes part in the second half. And indeed he started in a wide position, and that means Phil Neville has moved into central midfield, David.
Yes, well, Phil Neville, I was impressed with him in the first half, playing in the uncustomary position, wide on the right. Uses both feet well, and I think that's a terrific advantage for a player.
This is Neville now, and it's Beckham, and it's Clegg now. Oh, and Giggs has stolen in from the far side.
Well, he had a nice target to aim at, Giggs there. He timed his run beautifully. It was a lovely ball in. Watson held it relatively comfortably. He had a nice target.
Now, Bullock, who lost his balance but regained it. Ward is to the right, Hendrie's through the centre. Oh, and he's got in behind the defenders here, John Hendrie. Good block in the end, but he caught them out initially.
Terrific tracking there by young Clegg. Hendrie got a yard, good start. There you see Clegg coming across, tremendous blocking.
Moses forward, so is Krishan. And that's Krishan's header. And still not really away, that's Bazancic.
Well, that was rather wasteful. Moses was in a wide position. Danny Wilson reminding them the importance of getting tight.
Old Trafford hasn't quite proved the fortress that you think it normally is over the last few weeks. This is Neville, and now it's Pallister. It's not to say there won't be some bombardment in this second half. Palace to carry that an awful long way. Got it back from Giggs, put it into the centre. Oh, it went behind Sheringham, and that just enabled Morgan to clear.
Once again, wonderful invention by that man Giggs. Look at that. And Palace are doing the sensible thing, pulling the ball back. Fine run. That's clever football. An elastic's clearance.
Berg and Palace are looking to come in on the corner here. Oh, and they both got there at the same moment. It's gone out for another corner. Beckham's going to take this one. Berg and Palace are still there. And Barnsley had to pull everybody back then. Alex Ferguson with quite a lot on his mind currently. You'd think that the European Champions League is still a major dream here. He watched Monaco play indeed on Friday night, United's next opponents. Here comes McClare. But Barnsley pick it up. This is where they're dangerous. It's Hendrie with Ward going to the right. Berg's having to track him. Hendrie's on his own on this side of the pitch, but somebody stumbled, and Hendrie gets away. Ward is still far side. That was an inspired run by John Hendrie. He was all by himself.
Well, when Ward pulled away on the right-hand side, made a good space for Hendrie. Hendrie decided to attack the defence. When he went past, it was Sheringham doing his work for the team, showing the importance of unselfish team play. Sheringham.
Absolutely. Barnsley still making statements, still showing us that they're very much in the heart of this cup tie, and they have been, to be honest, more or less all through, as United have the ball here with Beckham. Chance, and Watson's got a hand to it. Oh, he did really well. He made his own luck, the goalkeeper, to foil Beckham.
Well, I think David Watson's had several examples today of how to run the last line of defence. His covering of his back players has been exemplary. Often United hit that longer ball, looking for the pace of Giggs to search in behind the defenders, but Watson has been a superb last line.
Challenge was by Phil Neville. He took the ball, says the referee. Play goes on. And that passes to Jordi Cruyff. And Giggs has made a striking run inside, but Cruyff was brought down. It's a free kick. Barnsley is saying, what about the one at the other end, to the referee? And somebody's said too much. I suspect it may be Bullock.
Well, of course, Neville's challenge has nothing to do with that challenge, and Neville took the ball cleanly. The referee was on the spot.
Irwin moves away, Giggs is there, Beckham's there. His shot hits the wall, here he is again, the lofted cross. Clegg is in there. Oh, and that curl just past the post from young Michael Clegg. Would have been some moment for the 20-year-old if that had just dropped in from Beckham's free kick.
Yeah, Beckham for once not getting the right elevation on the ball, but Clegg went in well there. He's only a small fella. Tremendous competition, I think, at full-back at this club with the two Neville brothers. Young Curtis, who I think is away on a youth trip at the moment. Irwin, who can play on the right side as well as the left. So, important game for Clegg.
Yeah, there's so many young players coming through this current crop, aren't there, at Old Trafford? You really are watching almost a rerun of what happened in the great Matt Busby years here in the 50s. Of course, that was remembered fittingly with the anniversary. And here come Barnsley, and Schmeichel's got to be quick, and he was.
It's a real riveting game now. Delicately poised. Here we see that lovely little touch. And Schmeichel doing as Watson's done so well at the other end, coming out and taking that ball. Lovely return pass by Hendrie.
It was Basancic, wasn't it, who gave it and then went for the return.
Yeah, it was indeed.
And Cruyff needs to just touch this on from a United point of view to David Beckham. Giggs is in the centre, Sheringham's there as well. Here's Giggs, but he didn't get the touch, and again, Barnsley really play their way well out of defence. This is Bullock, and he's got two to his right. Ashley Ward is one of them, Hendrie's the other. He probably, oh, it's Bullock again. And this time he's found Hendrie. Oh, what a chance that was. A glaring opportunity for Barnsley to perhaps win this cup tie.
Well, Hendrie, the hero of the first half, villain there. Great opportunity, a little bit fortunate to come back. Bullock did well. Wonderful effort in front of goal. Hendrie will surely come off now. I felt he was tiring. That's how sometimes that's shown, his tiredness.
A bit late in life for Pallister to think about playing as a centre-forward, but it's an emergency situation here for United. That's his header on. Now that's Phil Neville to Irwin. And Phil Neville again. Here's Gary Neville. Touched on by Giggs. Cruyff. Beckham. But Barnsley are pushing out, closing Manchester United down. That's a good ball by Beckham. He tries to pick out Teddy Sheringham. Pallister's in the penalty area waiting, so is Giggs. Cruyff's also there. There's the... oh, and Sheringham has the shot. Beckham appeals for handball on the cross. That's not been given.
That's a great turn by Sheringham. Came to him at a difficult height and he twisted quickly. Also a wonderful pass, reverse pass by Beckham. But there's Danny Wilson. He'll be delighted with the efforts of his team today. They've shown great resistance, great team spirit. He'll be so impressed by the improvement in his group since that awful time earlier in the season when everything went against them and they conceded 7.
They might do even better than get a draw. This is Bullock. Ward's in the centre. Little's in there as well now, the substitute. And the pullback finds Redfearn. And here's Little. Oh, it's a penalty, is it? No, it's not. It's not been given. Barnsley chase the referee. But no decision there in their favour from Mike Riley. It was Andy Little who appeared to be pulled down. And Manchester United breathe again. Well, that must have been a tight call. But play goes on. And what drama we would have had there if the referee had pointed to the spot.
Well, Sod's Law would have said that had a penalty been given, Schmeichel might just have produced something dramatic after his mistake in the first half. We have to say he's been rarely troubled in the game.
Well, this is true, but Barnsley have made such a spirited fight of this cup tie. You've got to give them credit, but here's Jordi Cruyff for United. And Giggs wants it played through, and here's a chance. And it's gone agonisingly wide, but I think the defender gets an enormous amount of credit. Ryan Giggs was through, but it was Adi Moses, and I think it's his touch that takes the ball past the post, the number 5. Yeah, deflection on Giggs' shot. Corner. Difficult for the goalkeeper, he gets a free kick, but the Barnsley supporters, having sighed with relief there, are still wondering about what happened at the other end. And it was Andy Little. Well, I tell you what, David, is that man before ball? It certainly is.
Yes, indeed. And Mike Riley, a Yorkshire referee from Leeds, I believe, has made a brave decision.
Well, it's easy.
Not made a brave decision.
Yeah, it's easy here when you see it for the second and third time. It looks, doesn't it, a clear-cut penalty from that angle. Barnsley have got to be said to be unlucky.
Certainly, that challenge prevented Little getting to the ball, and the ball was not touched.
Forward by Phil Neville, the header on. Here's Giggs. He's got Pallister with him. Does he need him? No, he doesn't. Giggs. Watson's made a save. Surely there was a push there, and it hasn't been given. And it's Jordi Cruyff. Well, a Barnsley player was clearly pushed out the way. And Mike Riley's got some sorting out to do here. There are 2 players injured, but there was an offence in there. If you watch, look at that. The player pushed over there by the United forward. It was Cruyff who had the shot. Watson did ever so well. The Barnsley supporters are heralding what looks now like a replay. And still the referee checks his watch, the 3rd minute of stoppage time. This is forward by Clegg. Pallister's in there, here's Cruyff. And it's still loose, and Beckham has the shot that's deflected. Giggs. Header inside towards Beckham. Oh, no one's worked harder than Giggs for Manchester United. He's trying to get Cruyff through here. And that's the sort of cover that Barnsley have managed to find all afternoon. Giggs indeed is thwarted again, but still they come, and still Krishan clears.
Well, Alex is famous for his stopwatch antics, but Riley's keeping everyone waiting at the moment.
Certainly is, as this long throw comes in from Neville. Pallister there to flick it on, and still Barnsley have to defend. And this is Ashley Ward, and there's the whistle. It goes back to Oakwell. A magnificent fighting performance by Barnsley. It could even have been better. They had a penalty appeal. Johnny Wilson's team turned down in the closing minutes, but they've earned their draw. They've washed away the memory of the 7-0 thrashing. Peter Schmeichel shakes his head because Barnsley's supporters celebrate the fact that they've earned a replay. Perhaps the last thing that Manchester United wanted, but they have to go back to Oakwell a week on Wednesday, sandwiched between important league games and European commitments. They're heavily now into a fixture congestion, but Barnsley have earned the right after a fighting draw here at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 1, Barnsley 1.
Danny, first of all, let's get the obvious question out of the way. What did you make of the penalty?
I think it's the same as everybody else did. It was a blatant penalty. I mean, you know, whether or not you're under pressure and Radin look a little bit, you know, in the defending end of it, we created an opening, you know, and possibly we should have been 2-1 ahead. Whether that would have been an injustice, I don't know, but it was a clear penalty. I mean, the referee had a very good sight of the ball, a very good sight of the player, because we looked at his position straight away, and we felt, you know, we just couldn't see any reason why he couldn't give the penalty, but he hasn't given it, and we've got to live by, I should say, lie by his rules or whatever. It's a bit of a shame, really, at the end of the day, that we couldn't get the penalty that we thought we deserved.
Against that background, you must feel very hard done by.
No, not at all. I mean, we got a bit of luck with the first goal, didn't we, in all honesty? I mean, it's a mistake by Peter Schmeichel, and that's a rarity in itself, isn't it, you know? So really, I think, you know, at the end of the day, you know, we've got to be thankful for that. But in saying that, John Hendrie, you know, he still had a lot to do when Peter miskicked. He made a lot of ground up to put the ball in the net, but as I say, it's not too often you see Peter Schmeichel do that.
I think it was Neil Redfearn latched onto a ball that had dropped in the box, and it just seemed to break for me. And just as I was pulling my foot back, Gary Neville came out of nowhere. The next thing I knew, I was on the floor and appealing for a penalty, and the referee said no. You know, and that was the end of that.
He appeared to make no contact with the ball.
No, he didn't. He made contact with the ball after he'd brought me down. But he had to try and tackle me, because it was a last-ditch tackle, because I was pulling my leg back to shoot. I mean, nobody can say I'd have scored, but I was 6 yards out. I'd have fancied myself to score, but I wasn't allowed to proceed with the shot.
Did you get any opportunity to speak to the referee about it?
I asked the referee, I said, yeah, that was a penalty, you missed it. He said, no, he didn't. He touched the ball. I said, he didn't. I said, watch it on TV, you missed it, you made a mistake.
I don't think we'd really found his feet when we came in October, and we give him a lot of respect, and probably too much. But today, you know, we've really gone at him, got stuck in, and it's proved that, you know, we can play against anybody.
We should have won it. The chances we had were some great chances, and we also rue the chances missed. Obviously, Peter made a human error, and these things happen. Under the new rule for pass back was that you're forced to kick quickly, and he's made an error, which can happen. But we go back in quickly, and Teddy Sheringham taking a good goal, was well made, and we've hit the post, and we've had a few things. Their counter-attack at times was quite good, and all in all, it was a really exciting cup tie.
You had a chance to see the penalty incident again. What did you make of it?
It was a penalty kick, no doubt about that. It's bad refereeing.
Well, that was honest, and you're not going to disagree.
Not in the slightest. There's no debate about it. It was just a bad refereeing decision, and it probably robbed Barnsley a victory. It's Liddell here. Neville comes around the back of him. High challenge, catches him, goes down. As I say, no debate whatsoever.
Now, what about Manchester United at the moment? They've got a fixture build-up coming up now. They're back in Europe next month. Do you think they've gone off the boil? I know they were missing some star players today, but do you think they've gone off the boil just a little bit at the moment?
Well, they were missing star players, but the team they put on the pitch was still good enough to beat anybody, really. I think they have gone off the boil. The results would state that, but in the last 2 seasons, when they've had a bad time, they've always come back. Last year, they were beaten at Newcastle, they were beaten at Southampton, then at home against Chelsea the year before, at Liverpool, Leeds and Tottenham. The secret always is go 15 undefeated. Now, this is a big test for them because they've got big matches coming in the league, the Champions League and the FA Cup, but they've got a great squad of players. I think that for the first time they're starting to miss Roy Keane. I mean, when they were firing all cylinders and they were playing the great football, he wasn't missed. This is a time that I think he's competitive but is missed.
Yeah. Now, what about Barnsley? I mean, they've been hammered earlier on in the season, but they keep coming back and they play nice football. I've got a soft spot for them. I'd like them to stay up for a start.
Well, the tactics today, some would say brave, some would say crazy. I would go refreshing. I mean, they were beaten 7-0 here in the league at Old Trafford, and I would have gone, defended the 18-yard line and got everybody behind the ball, because the further you get away from your keeper, the back four that is, the more that can go wrong. And if you watch this where they're defending this occasion, they're miles away from the keeper. You need three things here. One, the men in front have got to be pressing the play and closing down quickly. Two, the back four have got to be in line. Three, you need somebody coming off the line quickly. And David Watson today was absolutely magnificent, watching every instance here, how quick he is off his line. And that was the key to the performance. And even when his own player sells him short, watch this for speed off his line. That's absolutely fantastic. I mean, but having said that, Barnsley played some terrific football. Yeah. They really did. They knocked it about great. I mean, I can see why they lost so many goals in the league. I mean, if you, as I say, if you push up and hold a line, there's so much that can go wrong with it. And they've lost 6 at Chelsea, 5 at Arsenal. But that gives them their
attacking options too, doesn't it, by not trying to be so defensive?
There's a Manchester United team firing all cylinders today, in all honesty, would have slaughtered them playing that way.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Well, then Manchester United never fired on all cylinders. As I say, some might say I thought it was refreshing.
All right, refreshing.
At a packed Oakle is Clive Tilsley.
Mike Riley, the referee 10 days ago at Old Trafford, leads out the teams for the replay Manchester United didn't want and might not have had if he had pointed to the spot. Barnsley have lost 4 defenders to injury and suspension since the first game. So Scott Jones, who made his Premiership debut at the weekend, plays in an inexperienced back three. At least Darren Barnard returns from suspension on the left. Manchester United come without no fewer than 9 current internationals. It is a similar strength team as faced Barnsley first time around, though. David May is making only his second appearance of an injury-ravaged season. And despite the unfamiliar names, Clegg, Thornley, Nevland, there are 8 FA Cup winners in that starting 11. Awaiting tonight's winners, Newcastle United at St James's Park. Manchester United in white, and a white-hot atmosphere inside Oakwell. This is the route by which Barnsley came through the last round, beating Tottenham Hotspur in a thrilling replay here. And for all their season's trials and tribulations, they are unbeaten on this ground since November. And a force forward by their inspirational captain, Neil Redfearn, turned away by Brian McClare. This is Hendrie, well challenged by Pallister. Cole's lost it though to Basancic. Now Redfearn trying to get beyond Cole, who had turned well. Still Redfearn goes on. That right foot of his packs quite a punch. Neil Redfearn, a real up and atom skipper. Beckham looking long towards Nevland, who looked offside. The flag stayed down. It's Eric Nevland. Oh, it's just beyond the post. What an opportunity it was for the 20-year-old Norwegian to open his account. I have to say, he did look slightly beyond the last defender when the pass was played. He got the elevation to beat Watson. But it just drifted wide of the frame of the goal. Barnstead picking up Ward. Barnard. Went through to Hendrie, who is onside here. It's John Hendrie. It's there. And the veteran striker who gave Barnsley the lead at Old Trafford has given them the lead again tonight. Now, was he onside? Debatable. He got the benefit of any doubt the linesman had, which is the way it should be, and he shot off the underside of the crossbar, crossed the line. John Hendrie, 34 years of age now. He had a superb chance to win it at Old Trafford before he was substituted. And having scored his first ever goal against Manchester United there, he scored his second tonight. Moses, Bosancic. Beckham got something on the ball. It's run free here now for Andy Cole. Steered into the path of Nevlin. Might come for David Beckham now. 1-1, is it? No! Inside the post and away! Well, he won't come much closer without scoring. Cole played him in. Beckham running from behind the last defender. Steered it very deliberately, but it kissed the inside of Dave Watson's goalpost and bounced out to safety. May surviving the attentions of Ward. Led to Phil Neville. Lofted into Cole. Cole shot, good smart save that by Watson. Andy Cole called that so cleanly on the turn. He has an amazing record against Barnsley. He's never failed to score against them in games for Bristol City, Newcastle or Manchester United. 9 goals in 5 previous games against Barnsley. They'll be well pleased that he's played tonight. Here is Sheringham. Just beyond Cole. Mark step boxed in. Alex Ferguson, who started the evening in the grandstand, is now on the bench. Cole, turned into space, Andy Cole! Well, it only needed a touch from attacker or defender, but it didn't get one, and a goal kick was the end result, and Andy Cole wonders how and why. Clever little turn there. Well, he presumably was trying to roll it for McClare or Thornley. Doesn't really look like a shot. Neither quite gambled enough on a cross which teased them and didn't reach them. Jones forward towards Hendrie, who's robbed Pallister and then been fouled by Pallister. Gary Pallister is yellow carded for that challenge. Just let the ball run away from him, and Hendrie picked his pocket. It doesn't look good for John Hendrie, the scorer of the goal which separates the two sides. Can Barnsley snatch another? Yes, they can! Amazing hit, Scott Jones. First half stoppage time, Schmeichel beaten again. And Barnsley have put clear daylight between themselves and Manchester United. Scott Jones just beat Schmeichel to the punch. Only playing because of the injury problems in the Barnsley rearguard. A young man who made his Premiership bow of the weekend had just scored his first goal in senior football against Manchester United in the FA Cup and made it Barnsley 2, Manchester United 0. Space now for Dennis Irwin, who is onside. Cross towards Teddy Sheringham. Andy Cole! Nicely constructed attack. Irwin giving a rather more natural left foot from this side. Sheringham and Cole with very different kinds of headers. Just wide of the mark. Pallister. Irwin. Now Thornley. Cross in towards Cole. Good defending, still Cole though. Oh, so close. And Barnsley have had A few narrow escapes tonight at the hands of Andy Cole. Great persistence. And just unable to apply the finishing touch, having somehow managed to smuggle a yard of space for himself. Looking very sharp tonight, Cole. Very well aware that a return to Newcastle awaits the winners tonight. Sheringham down to Beckham. It's Cole, maybe took it away from Sheringham. Deflection in it. Manchester United are back in business, courtesy of Teddy Sheringham, and an unfortunate deflection for Barnsley. Set up by David Beckham, and with 11 minutes of the second half gone, Sheringham, off the heels of the defender, beats Dave Watson. It was Adi Moses who got the winning touch, and what a vital touch it was. Watson going the right way was suddenly going the wrong way. Ashley Ward. Martin Buller. Skipping away from Irwin, dangerous cross. Dealt with by Michael Clegg. Ashley Ward just unable to make contact with it. He's a throwback to a bygone era, Martin Buller. A real will-o'-the-wisp ball player. Stole a yard on Dennis Irwin. Ward less than a yard away from converting the cross. Scored 2 against Manchester United. Just wasn't picked up. Look at the space he's got. Crashing header, down off the crossbar and over the line. And just when you felt Manchester United was seizing the initiative in this tie, Barnsley have snatched it back. And an unlikely hero, if ever there was one, in the shape of Scott Jones. Cole and Sheringham are ahead of him. Beckham and Thornley trying to get there. Neville's cross. Way by Sheridan. Beckham though. On by Sheringham, and here's Andy Cole! It's 3-2. Andy Cole, who's threatened to score all night, has eventually done so with 9 minutes remaining. 5 goals in 3 FA Cup ties so far this season for Cole. Definitely onside. Steered away emphatically, an amazing record he has against Barnsley. 6 outings against them for Bristol City and Newcastle, and now Manchester United never failed to score against them. They've accounted for 2 Premiership teams already, Bolton and Tottenham Hotspur. Here he can hardly contain his emotions as they come close now to adding Manchester United to that list. Free kick has been given Manchester United's way. Some afters there. Gary Neville getting excited. And it's still boiling over. David May taking issue with Clint Marcel. And still it simmers on. Mike Riley just trying to let it all settle down. And at this stage of an FA Cup tie, it's more likely to boil over than just go away. Neville and Barnard were the initial combatants. Neville didn't like the aerial challenge. Neither did Beckham and some of his friends. It didn't end there. Everybody being thrown forward. Schmeichel taking the free kick. In towards Gary Pallister, headed away by Mark Stitt. Gary Neville! Blocked somehow by Ashley Ward of all people. The centre forward inside his own 6-yard box. Irwin tosses it back in. Headed down by Sheringham. Andy Cole! Oh, there's still a chance in the midst of it all for Ben Thornley. last chance for Manchester United to cling on to their place in the FA Cup. Andy Cole just couldn't kill it with his first touch. Gary Neville had been denied by Ashley Ward. Manchester United look like they're going to be denied by Barnsley. Is that a prayer or a wish? Fingers crossed, everything crossed. But Manchester United still come forward. But the FA Cup has again turned the league tables upside down. The Premiership's top dogs go out to the Premiership's tail-enders, although you wouldn't have known it tonight. Barnsley have been terrific. Maybe it's a season when United will shed fewer tears than usual about the end of one cup run if it clears the path to the European Cup. But Barnsley's belief in their right to belong in the big time is there for all to see, epitomised by young Scott Jones, their two-goal hero tonight. 3 Premiership scalps down, Newcastle United to come. It's Barnsley who go into the quarter-finals of the FA Cup at the expense of Manchester United. 3 goals to 2.
It was a pretty uncomfortable finish, I would think. You were trying to look cool, but you couldn't have been feeling it.
No, inside, no, certainly not. No, I mean, at the end of the day, you're just hoping. There's nothing you can do tactically at the end of the day. It's just really battling the hatches down and trying to put your head and your foot in on certain things and putting the family jewels in front of things and hopefully don't get it there. But at the end of the day, I think the lads defended very well. With the good fortune as well, I must say. You know, because I thought Man United played very, very well at times.
Alex, what's your reaction to tonight?
Well, I think have we lost Alex Ferguson or not? Kevin, we're going to hear again from Alex Ferguson. I think we can hear from him. Let's hear from him right now.
But at the end of the day, I think the lads defended very well. With the good fortune as well, I must say. You know, because I thought Man United played very, very well at times.
Alex, what's your reaction to tonight?
Disappointed for the players. They've worked so hard and fought like terriers the whole night. They've been very, very unlucky tonight.
Did you get a feeling it wasn't going to be your night, one way or another?
Well, you could say that in some respects. I mean, we've lost 2 bad goals at set pieces, that's for sure. And we've missed a lot of chances in the match. So you can say that maybe fate wasn't with us. But if we take even a half of the chances, then we're in comfortable to the next round.
And what's Barnsley's viewpoint of this win tonight?
Oh, I think we're just going to enjoy it for now, but I think league, we're in a bit of a tricky situation, so leagues, until the next tie comes round, the league's the most important thing.
But Danny Wilson's got this team fighting and really playing hard.
Oh yeah, well, I think we'd have liked the season to start about a month ago, and then I think we'd have had we won't be where we are now. So we're doing well at the minute, everybody's working.
Our apologies for that little technical hitch there, and the questions were posed by Gary Newbon. Now, Kevin, it's very easy to say that was Manchester United reserves out there tonight, but in fact, that would just take away from Barnsley, wouldn't it?
It would. I mean, yeah, Alex could have. He had Sheringham on the bench to start with. He had Irwin on the bench to start with, and he could have put a slightly stronger side out. But nevertheless, it was a side capable of winning a match against anyone in the Premiership, and Barnsley really did fight, and determination comes to mind when you see the goals and everything.
Maybe there's a little bit of justice here, because we all remember the penalty that wasn't at Old Trafford, and then suddenly there's a goal for Barnsley. There's controversy here, isn't there, over this first goal by Hendrie?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I felt straight away when I saw it was offside, and when we see the...
This is our virtual replay computer's decision, Kevin.
Yeah, well, it agrees with mine. I felt he was just offside. Now, I think for linesman to give if there's any doubt, to give it to the attacking side, but he's clearly offside there, and that's how I saw it at the time. But again, maybe the penalty did influence the linesman, and they got the bit of luck they didn't get at Old Trafford.
But nevertheless, you know, it was taken well, wasn't it, by Hendrie? He took the goal well.
The finish was fantastic. I mean, he still had a lot to do, and he really did actually bend it past Schmeichel in his near post, and you couldn't fault Schmeichel for that. It was just a tremendous finish.
The Barnsley hero tonight, a young gentleman called Scott Jones.
Yeah, they had a job keeping up with the Jones tonight.
This is his second one, which is a little bit bizarre in a way, isn't it?
It is. Alex was very disappointed in his interview. He said to get done from 2 set pieces, but look at the way he attacks this ball. He's not the biggest, but he's the bravest.
And Peter Schmeichel all over the floor, Kevin.
Yeah, I think there was too many bodies in the way, and you know, they got caught cold. I mean, I wouldn't have thought Barnsley would have caused them problems. They had Pallister there, they've got Schmeichel there, but the delivery was very, very good from the captain, and the young lad got on the end of it.
United might have had a weakened side, but they wanted something out of this game. They came back to 3-2, and then at the end, they came so close.
They did. I mean, they threw everything but the kitchen sink, as you would expect in a cup tie. This one from Neville, it's Ward who's back there, and it bounces again, it comes back out again, and it's delivered in again. And look at them, they're working their socks off to get it away. Falls to Cole, can't quite control it. And then he's very unlucky as Ben Thornley. I mean, it probably could have done with dropping to a more experienced player, but it was certainly a bad miss.
Quite simply, United's priorities are Champions League and the league, aren't they?
Definitely, and I think the side he put out tonight shows you how Alex is thinking.
OK, well, Newcastle away next.